Well, your hand is bigger than mine, you probably already figured. At first I felt a little silly putting my hand to yours, and I wasn't prepared for how lonely it felt. Like you were just out of reach. The only barrier between my hand and yours was the paper. Oddly enough, the paper was the only thing that brought our hands together. I could almost feel your warm hand on the other side. Well, here it is, officially the last entry in this, our little notebook. I too have clutched, cried, and laughed out loud at this collection of our thoughts and feelings. I look back at how time has really passed so quickly. 6 months it looks like since my first entry, written under the influence of Vicodin I received along with my inability to reproduce. It seems like a few days since I rushed along, wishing I could package my whole room and ship it to you. I still feel quite the same, but a bit more sober. Well, entirely sober, in fact. I can't believe that I'm going to see you in a couple short months, and I also can't imagine having to let you leave. I'm sure the first bit of your trip will be a little strange and awkward, and then as we're growing comfortable, it'll be time for you to go. I am a little nervous at actually being with you in the flesh after such a long time of writing and phoning. I hope I can be the same person when you're here as when you're not. Just don't let me be shy, okay? 'Cause it's hard for me to be silly and sappy when I have to look at you. And I'm really very reserved in person. So don't be offended if it takes me a minute. And I'll probably be even more so in front of Em. You really are the only person that sees this side of me, and your absence makes that easier. I'm way too self-conscious. I'm really a little nervous, too, because I want to make things as perfect as I can for the time that you're here. There's a part of me that's afraid that you'll go home less than impressed. That self-consciousness again. I know you have friends that think you're crazy, and I'd hope to prove them right. I'd hate to prove them right. On the other hand, when everything goes right, I'm going to feel dumb for worrying. There's a movie called Sling Blade, which may be one of the best movies ever made. I'm not going to explain, because it's just better to watch it, but toward the end, Carl has this line. That boy, he lives inside of his own heart. That's an awful big place to live in. That's totally how I am. I'm not close to my mom or my brother, haven't seen my dad in 10 years or better. My grandparents are all dead. So you're really the only person that gets to see inside of my heart. Most people I know just think I'm a cynical, heartless bastard, and I thought that too for a long time. The problem was that I didn't have anyone I felt was worth loving. It's sad, but most people really are dumb shits, and that's why I try so hard with you, because you are so rare. Meeting and falling in love with you has only increased my desire not to be like everyone else. I feel validated because you are happy with who I am. I spent years feeling like I was incompatible with the world and its values. That's why you give me faith in myself. You make life worth struggling for. The funny thing is, I would totally go to your graduation, even with your mom there. In a way, I almost feel like I should. Because if we were still together then, it would just add an exclamation point to our relationship. And of course, what better way to celebrate the beginning of your adult life? But maybe, if things work out, I could come out around Christmas. You won't be 18 yet, but I think we've already proven ourselves in some ways. And of course, I'll have to meet them someday, but at least if you're 18, they can't really say anything. I don't even know if they would say anything. Well, there's plenty of time to worry about that, and so. Here we are at the last little page. Crazy, huh? Well, I guess I'll wrap this up so I can send it off before they close. Just know that I do love you so much. And I can't wait to see you, hopefully in a couple of months. Well, I was going to get another notebook and enclose it with this one so we could continue our dialogue, but I think I'll leave the next book to you. I hope you don't mind. I just figured since we started with one of mine, we should alternate. It'll make it more interesting 10 years from now, when they're all together and we start excavating, haha, for the sake of sentiment. Love and lust and kisses and hugs and more. Joseph Harrison. The end of the beginning.